Alrighty, welcome into social. It is Friday, March 20th. First, apologize for the audio because I am traveling. We got Joey here again because Eman's out there doing great things with the national track and field stuff that he's got going on. But March Madness has started. My bracket officially already sucks thanks to that miserable program, the Wisconsin Badgers. I'm so sick and tired of being a fan of the Wisconsin Badgers with the same round every tournament. It never ends. At best, they win a game. This year, they couldn't beat High Point. Something about the Panthers, man. Panthers beat the Packers in Wisconsin this last year, and now the Panthers also beat the Badgers this tournament. So Wisconsin team struggling against the Badgers. Joey, how you doing? How are you feeling about March Madness so far?
Doing good. I'm guessing all my brackets are broken, but we'll see. That always happens on day one. But who knows? I'm wearing my Illinois gear as hopefully good luck. We'll see how they do. I know this is for Friday, but when we're recording this, they're yet to play. So we'll see where they land. But it's the greatest tournament if you don't have a team, and it's the worst tournament if you do have a team, because all these should be series, and you shouldn't have one bad day screws your year. But for everyone else, oh, it's a blast.
Yeah, and Duke almost shit the bed. I mean, every single bracket immediately done. I think there's only a handful of perfect brackets. Like you said, we're recording this. It's not even Friday yet, and brackets have already been kind of cooked. So, I mean, we got to get into March Madness and everything. Obviously, the Ohio State one, that sucked. But we're going to go backwards today. So we got a Timberwolves fan joining. We're going to do news desk first. We're going to do some basketball. But my final piece on the Badgers that I just got to get off my chest. 5 grade guard into the sun, into wherever you need to fire him off to, because if you can't even call it a play call. You run ISO ball, 11 seconds left, the game on the line, and you don't have a superstar. Shit, you don't even got a star player, really, if you want to put it into perspective what a star player is, like a DeBance or a Boozer or something. You ain't got a guy of that caliber. And with the game on the line and you run ISO ball, that is a fireable offense. You shouldn't even be allowed to coach basketball anymore. It was just sickening. I was in the office watching that, and I almost had a meltdown. I was sick to my stomach knowing that was the play call. Of course, they got the last chance, but last year the Badgers were supposed to run deep. Ever since the Kentucky year, with beating the Harrisons, ever since that year, or just we won that game, right? I'm not losing my mind. The Badgers versus Kentucky, what was that, like 2013, 2014? That was, you're on mute, Joey. That was kind of the year. But what did you say?
Oh, I was saying, I'm going to believe what you say. I don't remember that game, so.
Oh, my God. It was Badgers, Kentucky. Yeah, that was the final. I believe it was the final four. Yeah, Wisconsin 71, Kentucky 64. 2015, I almost had my year right. But ever since then, man, that was the year to do it. And then, obviously, Kaminsky gets drafted. Sam Hauser. What's his name? I'm blanking on his name. I just said it earlier. Anyways, I'm so sick of being a Wisconsin Badgers fan. That is this hire that I'm currently on. I don't know if I can continue to cheer for this team at this point. Just with whatever the constant letdown is, I'm so over it. Watching 11-second ISO ball made me sick. And as a Bucks fan too,
Sam
Decker, yeah, he left too early. He should have never left when he did. But it's like watching the Bucks with Mike Budenholzer all over again. The whole Mike Budenholzer era was just ISO ball. I had flashbacks. I got hot sweats. I was almost sick to my stomach. And yeah, I had him winning. Of course, had him winning against High Point. I should have known that the Badgers would be the 5 versus 12 upset, because always one of those every year. I should have known better that the Badgers would be the one this year. But let's kick into the news desk and just kind of get into what we got today before our fan joins us.
Yeah, well, we'll first start out with some bracket busters that we can, go over and talk about the tournament so far. But first, the Cinderella, my team, Miami of Ohio, survives their first test, winning 89-79. So they stay alive and advance in this tournament. Howard in the first 4, they get their first ever NCAA win. They advance to that first official round, if you will. So a couple of history makers to start. You mentioned your Wisconsin Badgers. I put some stats in our notes here. Would you like me to read them, or is it too painful?
I wouldn't like you to, but this is not about me, so. Might as well.
All right, so High Point is 12th seed. The first appearance in the tourney was last year. This was their first win ever in the NCAA tournament. They have 6,500 students at their school. Wisconsin has 51,000 on campus in Madison. And Chase Johnston, the high scorer for this game against Wisconsin with 14, 4 of 6 from 3, he scored his game-winning basket in the game, 83-82, they win. It was his first 2-point basket of the year. The guy
Actually,
did not
of
know how
course
to
it
make
was.
a 2-point basket.
Of course it
He was a
was.
3-point elite shooter, 48% from the field in 3. He couldn't get anything from inside the arc. It was like yips for him. And sure enough, his game-winning basket in transition is the game winner and a 2-pointer. So just
Of course.
fun. And
Just go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I was going to say that would be the way it ends. Like I said earlier, it's always tragic. It's always bullshit. It's always shorter lived than it should be. Of course, the guy who doesn't hit any 2-pointers beats him off a point. That's like, this is peak Badger stuff, man. Every Badger fan knows this is just peak Badgers losing stuff.
Mm-hmm. And to make it even more fun, High Point has a special business program on their campus, and they opened up their own branch of 3 restaurants in campus buildings so they can teach their students how to have business etiquette and professional dinners as they go on to their next careers. I've never heard of that. They made a steakhouse, a Mediterranean restaurant, and a Japanese fine dining. So those 6,500 kids who's ever in business, they're getting a nice meal to go with their education, and
Yeah.
that business etiquette just trounced your Badgers.
Yeah, no,
So
that's fantastic. What else?
it's just one of those schools. Louisville survives South Florida 83-79. That 8 versus 9 is always a toss-up, but TCU over Ohio State 66-64. So not a great day for the Big Ten so far. Nebraska, first win in the NCAA tournament for them in their school history, which is kind of nuts to believe in basketball, considering how
Mm-hmm.
good they used to be in football. But the big story of the day, Duke wins, but they were down 11 at half to Siena. They were the first number 1 seed to trail a 16 seed at half by double digits in tourney history. So are they a team that had a bad day, or is that a real concern here?
I mean, for Duke, let's be honest. I mean, Siena came to play. That was a team that has no news, and they were just playing balls to the wall. The coach just telling them, like, go out there, play your game, play loose, let's get after it. Duke, on the other hand, is the total opposite mindset of, like, looking past Siena. We know it. Like, they don't got to admit it. Like, but when you're 116, you got to always be conscious. Like, you don't, there was a 1 seed the other year that just got to a 16, but they were probably looking past
For sure.
Duke. Siena was just playing really efficient basketball. It's not like Duke horrible, but Siena was just playing out of their skull. But again, like, teams with nothing to lose are so, and they did barely pull it out. Vandy barely pulled it out. Bummer, because I had USF though beating Louisville. That one hurt my bracket. Badgers
Almost
hurt my
got it.
bracket. Ohio State, man, I am surprised by the Big Ten, because the Big Ten is what it was. The Big Ten was better this year than they normally are. And they're all kind of battle tested coming out. Ohio State was definitely a really, really disappointing loss there. That layup at the end, should they have fouled? And then the inbound play was strange too, with having to go the length of the. That was
Very.
weird what was going on with Ohio State at the end, and that kind of cost them the game there. So, damn shame to see it for some of these Big Ten bigger run. Michigan State, though, obviously they put an ass beating on North Dakota State. That was kind of the big win here for the Big Ten in the early days, but of course things could change early. Or as again, this is only Thursday midday at this point, so who knows what we'll get into. But what's next on the news desk?
Next one for college basketball. So we talk at the tourney, we talk NIT, but now we got a whole new world here, right? College basketball crown tournament in Vegas, which is hilarious for college sports. But if I mention these teams to you, right? Oklahoma, Colorado, Baylor, Minnesota, Stanford, West Virginia, Rutgers, and Creighton. Those are normally teams in your bracket. but they all didn't make it this year. So what happens? They go to Vegas and play in a tournament. The winning school gets 300 grand in NIL money for a player pool to go back to their teams. Like, this concept is wild to me, that you have these tournaments and now it's not even a question of amateur or student athlete. Like, this is a group of schools didn't get into the real or free tournament, said, we're going to go do this one in Vegas, and the combined total tournament that teams can win, not just one, but as you advance, you get money. It's a $500,000 tournament for NIL. It's crazy town.
Such is the world we live in now. So, I mean, it is crazy, but that's the NIL world we live in. Like, teams are bleeding for money right all across college sports. They're looking for ways to get more money in the doors, ideally in a world where they don't have to charge their students out the arse to come watch their own team that they're going to school for, asking them for more money, which we know they're ready prices on top of it. I just think the part about incorporation and all of this, the Vegas stuff with it, I mean, I like the idea of doing it. I know there's schools that always like protest going into the NIT tournament and shit like that, like Auburn, of course. You know, I respect the move. It just sucks. I mean, you do got it in the world of, and it's not going away. It's adapt or die. So, you know, I guess that it's interesting times, man. College sports are just not. It's like amateur pro with all this money.
They're little professional,
and especially in college basketball. Yeah, I mean it's hard. Football, basketball, like dudes are leaving every single year, and you be competitive as hell in the portal, and you better have money to. And so I can't blame anyone doing this for the sake of like the NIL angle to it all. Just wild. It is the wild, wild west now in college sports NIL.
Yeah, they're like little like Wrexhams, right? They're these little small town teams that now make money and are basically professional. It's fascinating. All right, next up in here, WNBA CBA. They get their deal done. This one is just a huge win for the players and for the league. Their popularity is growing and skyrocketing. They got a $7 million salary cap now. The average salary will be around 600 grand for players. And this is the craziest one. And it is a testament to how much it's grown and sadly how long it's taken to get here. Because I even know people that I've worked with that were in the WNBA making the same minimum 20 years ago. But the minimum salary was around 66 grand in the WNBA. Rookies, what have you. Now, that minimum is $300,000. And that is totally deserved, totally a Caitlin Clark effect, Paige Buchers, all that. These players are coming from college with all this clout and now NIL, and the wage scale didn't match. So it is still way down than what it should be, lower than NBA, of course. But this is a huge win for a league that was way behind in compensating their players, where they had to go to Europe and all these things to where now they're going to be set.
It's a huge player, obviously. Like this, it wasn't like some charity handout. Like, oh, we feel bad for you that you're not getting paid. Like, no, they bet on themselves. They didn't accept anything less from like was clearly a very broken system. I mean, that's salary cap number jumping from 1.5 to 7 million is freaking a huge jump. And yes, it's still not like to NBA standards by any means, but good Lord, everyone knows no one touch that. But at the same point, and like you said, on the players and all that stuff, the revenue sharing aspect of this all is also a huge thing, because I believe it's the first time in their contracts that it's tied to revenue sharing. And I could be wrong. Someone can fact check me in the comments if you really want to. But, obviously WNBA is growing so fast. And now as it continues to grow, player revenue will continue to grow, just like every other sport that is tied to these revenue deals and TV deals and all these things. So super excited for them. I hope they just keep working. League's growing, and we'll see on NBA. Maybe one day WNBA will continue to expand. But big win for the players. And I'm honestly shocked that went this giving just kind of the owner situation, broken system. Like, some people might say it's not enough, but at the same point, like, this is a huge win. And I think the Supermax went up like over $1 million as well. The average player's salary, like, I think you said something like tripled or something like that.
Yeah,
The
it's
minimum
over
salary.
$600K. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a massive win. Like, players bet on themselves, and it had huge payoff. So yeah, congrats. I think that's an awesome win to come. I think bought in as well, knowing like, oh shit, like this is super real. Like, this is all right. Game is really on now.
Absolutely. All right, sticking with basketball, Pistons star Cade Cunningham out with a collapsed lung. Reports are saying he should be back for the playoffs, but I don't know. It's always scary with those kind of injuries. Pistons have a 3.5 game lead over the Celtics in the East right now. He's their leading scorer, obviously, the face of the franchise. What does this mean for him and the Pistons as they try to lock up the East and what that playoff run may look like?
I mean, I don't know what you think, but Pistons don't have no chance on anything if Cunningham around for the playoffs. I don't. I mean, if the outdo them in the regular season, and yeah, the Pistons definitely would prefer to have the 1 seed, but at the same point, like, they're locked for the playoffs. If they have to go one or 2 games without Cade, I think they'll be fine. They should still win a play because I think JB Bickerstaff's done a really good job coaching. They still have Jalen Duran. I mean, they have enough to make, even without Cade, probably win a series. But with Cade, they're a whole different team. They don't have Cade for some reason. Like, the second round, not a chance. Like, is half as good, I think. With hopefully, I mean, first and foremost, just hope he's all right and get back health quickly and like have no setbacks or anything. That's most important. But I'm actually, we got an NBA fan coming on soon, so it'll be interesting to hear what they got to say about the injury and how it might impact if we get into it. What do you think on it? You think they got a chance without Cade?
No, he's too good. he's too good, and the Pistons have had such horrible luck for a long, long time that they deserve a guy like that, and so he's got to get back and healthy for them.
True.
I hope he does. I don't know. I get scared with collapsed lungs. I know it's kind of more normal is the wrong word, but they happen. It's just when you hear that, you're like, Jesus. Like, that's right. It's not like you broke your hand. Like, the thing you use to breathe. So,
yeah, my non-medical background, every time I hear collapse, I literally just think like you're at your waist or something. I'm an idiot, so that's fine.
Oh, God. All right, last one for you before we get to our NBA guest. MLB. They are striking a deal with Polymarket as their prediction market partner for the league. In my opinion, this is a very slippery slope, and it's, Pete Rose is laughing at you beyond the grave, and Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz too, now that they're banned from playing, and this week also Kalshi, the other prediction market, had criminal charges filed against them in Arizona, saying that what they're offering is an illegal form of gambling. And so I know you want to get ahead of trends as a league, but this one seems like it's not necessarily worth the risk right now, as we've seen with all these other leagues getting in bed with gambling and prediction markets. And it's a very, very funny place to be. And for a league that's always been against cheating and steroids and gambling forever, it is very ironic to be like, hey, look, we're partnered with Polymarket now. It's not gambling, but it is gambling. Good luck.
Yup. The crazier Rob Manfred, not a fan of this jabroni, but he's out there. Oh yeah, protecting these our top priority. So we're gonna go partner with Polymarket, actually, even though we just had all these problems. And I think it's with Polymarket's like not yet launched US exchange whole ordeal. So like that's kind of like the gist of their framework with Polymarket. It means like there's no real impact yet that's been proven out with their partnership. And there's a lot of unknown implications to it and how this will work out. And obviously, we've seen how the betting markets impact sports. Like we see how these prediction markets are affecting places like Underdog with all the layoffs and all these companies who weren't prepared for these prediction markets to come over and take over. So I don't trust Manfred. I'm not a fan of him. I'm not trusting that they made the right market here. And I think what they're trying to do is get ahead of a big trend and just make more money. But because, obviously, again, prediction markets are booming. Fans are using them regardless of leagues approving them or not. So, like, I understand, like, oh, we got to get in this. Like, again, it's like back to the earlier conversation with NIL money. It's like adapt or die. But long-term prediction market stuff, regulation, we're still, like, in a really rocky territory right now, and especially integrating into a professional sport like this, I'm not exactly enthused by the move.
Your guy Giannis got to get out of this thing real quick.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to go. I don't love it. I really wish sports would do a better job at keeping these things a little bit more having a bit more distance. Of course, money talks, money will all walk, but I really don't enjoy as a sports fan the gamble, no pun intended, of these leagues getting in bed with the biggest spaces at any moment's notice. I think it's a very, very sketchy field and area to be dabbling, especially the Pete Rose thing. We literally kept this guy out of the Hall of Fame because of the shit. And yeah, like you said, with Emmanuel Clase and those other Guardians pitchers, and now it's like, yeah, but you know what? We know he really cost you. Now we're actually going to go be best friends with these guys. We're going to get in bed with them and tangle a little bit. What were your thoughts on it? Yeah, I'm assuming you're not a fan either.
No, and it's just there's not a it's one thing with sports gambling like being legal, right? And there's at least, while it is a Wild West, there's some precedent legally for how this is rolled out in all the states. These prediction markets are kind of like fantasy, where it's just really no rules and can get messy. And especially now, like, you can do Polymarket for elections, let alone sports, that like these things can have way bigger ramifications than just who's winning and who's losing and a bet, quote unquote, you may make through this prediction market. Like this is way more unvetted and riskier. And I think I get wanting to get ahead of the market, and baseball is normally the last person to adopt new things, but I think this is the wrong bet for them.
Yeah, and I appreciate they at least try to put some guardrails up. So I believe they came to an agreement that they said they can't include individual pitches, manager decisions, and umpire performances are all things that are like not going to be allowed to be whatever guardrails again type of prediction bets happening. So appreciate that, but again, when the larger platform kind of operates outside of certain jurisdictions, this was going to remain an open question. The legitimacy to it all will remain an open question. That's why I don't love this shit. And like, I miss sports and I miss sports media when this wasn't all it was about. And so I just, one of those things, man. It is what it is. I'm still going to watch it. Like, I'm a DGen watching sports. I'm still going to watch it. I don't care.
As you should be.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Is that everything on the news desk? Or we got
That's
more?
it.
We good? All right, perfect. We've been keeping our fan waiting. So let's bring on, we got a Minnesota Timberwolves fan. They're making a big push for the playoffs right now. Yet again, trying to make another Western Conference Finals run. Got Carly. Carly, how are you doing? What's going on?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to talk about the roller coaster that is this Timberwolves game.
Absolutely. You've been a Timberwolves fan your whole life?
Oh, hell yeah. Since the, Stephon Marbury, KG, Wally Zerbiak days, I've been locked in.
This is weird. We just talked to Zerbiak last episode. We're already talking about Wally Zerbiak again. It's a weird thing. Yeah, because we were talking about Miami of Ohio and Zerbiak when he was there. And then I was like, man, I'm playing with Zerbiak back in like NBA Live. Like, dude could flick a bucket, and just big fan. Those old school jerseys, the black jerseys with the Timberwolf, the trees, the best NBA jerseys in history.
Thank you. I so appreciate it. I mean, listen, I say I've been a fan since the original trees, but we know that the Timberwolves franchise has just been like hellish and terrible until like Cat and Anthony Edwards mainly, have revived it. But the jerseys were something that you could hang on to as a Wolves fan,
Absolutely. I'm a Bucks fan across state lines, but like,
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah. So we didn't have as cool jerseys back. That was like our Christmas era jerseys. The green and red were nasty. But I mean, speaking of Ant and like the whole turnaround thing, I mean, let's get right into it, right? How does this season feel compared to like last year's run? Obviously, is the energy in Minnesota different? Are fans like still like cautiously optimistic, or are we feeling more bought in? What's the pulse right now?
If you were to ask me the vibe before we just acquired Io and brought back Kyle Anderson, I would have told you it was like a little bit similar to last year, maybe a little less optimistic. But I feel like having Io on the team and bringing back Kyle Anderson has like revived this team in some like funny, weird way. If you're a Wolves fan, I feel like you either really love Kyle Anderson or you kind of roll your eyes because you're just like, he's like a role player that, is like good leadership can pass, but he's actually pretty impactful. Here's the deal. The ceiling is higher this year, but the bottom's lower. Like the fallout just seems way more drastic than last year. And, I was just talking to my other Wolves friends. It's like we wouldn't be surprised if we fell into the play-in, but we also wouldn't be surprised if we went to the Western Conference Finals again. Like that's just kind of where you're at, where you're like, are you going to show up and play like you're a contender, or are you going to lose to the Nets by 20 points? Like I don't know. Sometimes with this team, I am riding the optimism wave. I'm locked in because they tend to, when their backs are against the wall, they tend to step up. So I'm hoping that that's what we see again.
Okay.
Yeah, talk about Io a little bit more. I'm a Bulls guy. I went to Illinois as well, and so I'm a big Io fan. It was bummed to see him be moved, but my Bulls are in basketball hell, so he deserves to win. But what's his impact been for you guys with the T-Wolves? How have you liked what he's done so far?
He's been huge. It's funny. He just kind of fit in pretty seamless. Like it feels like he's been on the team for the whole season. And, the whole thing with Rob Dillingham, sorry, if you're a Bulls fan, you get to experience. I mean, I hope all the best for Rob. I hope he gets his
Oh, yeah, we're seeing that show every night. Him and Jaden Ivey and all the cast-offs are here.
Yeah, and it sucks it didn't work out. But I think it was such a bummer that clearly it wasn't working with Rob. Mike Conley takes this kind of drastic, like, downward turn with his skill set. And it was like, we don't have a point guard. Cool. Ant, go try to be. Or Dante DiVincenzo here. You're the point guard. And we're like, I don't know about this. But Io has been amazing. Like, I love his demeanor. He pushes pace. He's a good passer. Just seems like a good dude, like good energy. Wolves fans are kind of eating it up right now.
I was gonna say he's been delivering, right? Because Anthony Edwards, is he still hurt, or he just got hurt, or something around those? Recently hurt.
Yeah, he just got hurt. Yeah, he's out. For possibly 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's what it was. And I was just reading something on how Io's kind of been the guy who's stepped up and been kind of thrust into a spotlight a little bit more. He just had a game, almost like had a 20-10 game the other day. So he's been playing well, and I think he's not even played 20 games. I think it's 15 games in Minnesota. I think he's a little over 12 points a game, shooting like 53% from the field. So, I mean, you got good numbers that far, and then especially coming off the bench, he's putting up legitimate like starter numbers. And then the Bulls just out there, like Joey said, in background hell. And he's still young. I don't know how many more years old he's got, but late bloomer. He's found the right situation. He's in a winning culture. It seems like it's really blossomed as a player. So, I mean, it seems like the T-Wolves are getting them right now, and probably going to be a guy who's going to get a nice sizable sum of money because of it too.
I think so.
I mean, would you kind of consider like Edwards obviously face the franchise? Would you say unsung hero that doesn't get enough national recognition making this team go, or is there someone else you would have in mind?
Yeah, I think he's probably got to earn his stripes a bit more, but potential's there. I mean, I have like a pre-answer and then I'll answer. My pre-answer is this team will not do well if Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert don't play well. Like this, we need them. And they're both very flawed players, but very great at what they do. We need those two to play well. But I think if you were to ask a lot of Wolves fans, Jaden McDaniels is the unsung hero of this team. I think people like say, I think it's a little much, but I'll roll with it that he's the Scottie Pippen to Ant, or they're like really wanting to like manifest that. But if people aren't paying attention to Jaden McDaniels, you really, really should. One of the best perimeter defenders, I think, in the league, has this sort of like Kevin Durant built to him, so he can like shoot over people, but he's got quick feet. Just kind of like cool attitude. Like, just you keep an eye on Jaden.
Okay. I mean, I found out he is the cousin of Juwan Howard, former NBA player and coach. But I mean, yeah, 15 points a game is nothing to scoff at. 4 rebounds, 3 assists a game, 52% from the field, 44% from threes through 60 games, like averaging career best right now. I think people are kind of looking through some T-Wolves on Twitter before all this and see what I could find. And I saw some people calling out how his shooting has kind of been like a revelation almost for him this season. Has gotten a lot better. Seems to be something that is around a team's chatter. And like you said, just kind of become a good defensive specialist. And I'm for two-way players. So I'm all the way in on this. He's a Washington Husky. I'm on Washington, so I'm getting on board with this one too.
Right.
But I mean, I followed Jaden McDaniels too much, or the Timberwolves. I'm sorry, before this conversation. But
That's
no, I definitely plan. I definitely plan to now.
There we go.
See, you're converting new fans every day. It's good.
Look at that.
The trees, you love it. How are we feeling about Chris Finch? He's had his ups and downs with this organization. Is he the right guy to get this team to the promised land and where they want to go? And how have you assessed his tenure and his moves this year?
Yeah, there's a big group of fans that are like the Fire Finch crowd of the T-Wolves. I am not in that group, but I think if things go pretty south in the playoffs, he's likely on the chopping block. However, you can't look at the past few seasons here and scoff at what he's done with the success of the Timberwolves. There's this whole thing where he was playing Mike Conley too much. He doesn't give the young guys enough of a chance, sometimes doesn't manage games well. Team will go on like a run and he won't call a timeout, whatever, nitpicky things, but fair. My whole thing is him and Ant seem to have a really solid relationship where they can call each other out. It gets kind of spicy sometimes, but to me, if you like keeping your superstar happy is probably pretty up there with coaching. So I tend to lean more towards that dynamic and keeping Finch there.
As a Bucks and Giannis fan, and talk about keeping your superstar happy and letting that rule the franchise, it also has its downsides because then you end up hiring guys like Doc Rivers to sink the entire freaking shit, man. So there's ups and downs of that wave of making your star happy. I mean, I agree. Got to make your star happy. Like, but I just wanted Jason Kidd to stay around. He was like the only one that wanted Jason Kidd to stay around in that era. And thank God we did it because there's no way the championship ever comes to Milwaukee if Jason Kidd remained the head coach. And I will die on that hill, like most Bucks fans would. And then obviously they fired Adrian Griffin because I don't think he's like Giannis got like a Giannis approved guy as much through the season. It's been tragedy ever since Doc has entered the building. So I mean, I don't even know who's in the market. Have y'all even for the Fire Finch crowd? Rather see is there someone on the bench like coming through the wings, or do they have a plan?
So the assistant coach Micah is incredible, and there's a lot of like talk for like pushing him up. And I think he even got a couple head coach interviews last season, decided to stay. But no, that's the thing. I'm like, you're not going to fire him right now, but maybe looking into next season. But no, people are throwing like Mike Malone in the thing. I'm like, we're not getting Denver's coach to come coach this team. Like that's the only name I've heard thrown out there.
Okay, interesting. All right, why don't we get into your what we did with our last NBA fan? We're gonna do it with you because it was pretty fun and it's very nostalgic, and I love doing that in the sports. Your Timberwolves all-time starting 5 plus 6th man. Would love to hear what you got. We'll go position by position. You walk us through your lineup, why you picked that player. Maybe we pick someone else in mind that we'll challenge you with, but you're the know-all. So
love it.
Where we start? Point guard. What do we got?
Okay, this one is the toughest because like my obsession with Stephon Marbury came to mind, and he like kind of was responsible for like initiating some of the good stuff with KG. And then Ricky Rubio comes to mind just because it was like fun to have him.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going with Sam Cassell for my point guard.
Ooh, why'd you pick him?
Reason, high IQ point guard, efficient scorer. Really, I mean, him and Kevin Garnett, first Western Conference Finals for the Timberwolves ever. Like, gotta go with like the solid, good point guard.
Okay, I remember. Hey, but I love that we're tying the Bucks in a lot to this too. I remember Sam Cassell with Bucks. Led moment, kicks the ball into the crowd. I don't know if you called one, but he just launched the ball into the crowd, just pissed off. Sam Cassell is a great dude, good coach too. Is he still coaching right now? I thought he was a coach for one of the teams. I thought he was coaching someone.
Yeah,
but he was
I think you're right.
Was he only there for a really short amount of time? How long was he a Timberwolves?
Yeah, it was a pretty short stint. It was just a couple years.
And so you would put him over Rubio. Wasn't Rubio a pretty slick passer?
He was, but I mean,
1 year
Western
Sam
Conference
Cassell
Finals for the first time for your. It was more than 1 year, wasn't it? Sam Cassell.
I remember.
I'm locking Sam Cassell in.
Okay, I love it. You know better than me. Even if it was one season or two seasons, I love the aspect of he was there and won with them. So that's alone enough to justify it. All right,
and it's crazy how a lot of those, and just as crazy how a lot of those memories and moments form, right? Like you'd think, oh, okay, a point guard's got to be there for 8 years and win this much and that much, and it's like there's these pockets, and I know we don't get them as much now because we see everything social media in 5 seconds. It's old news, but like when you could watch a full game every night, there's those random nights where you go, wow, like this is my point guard of my childhood or my high school or my college years that resonates with you. Like I couldn't tell you the stat line for Sam Cassell, but I remember vividly watching him play. And he also kind of looks like an alien, so that was very memorable to me.
He does.
But
he does.
Like it was like, oh, like that's that guard.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not going to be a Hall of Fame record breaker, but he's meaningful like to you and to the fans. And like that's what's important.
He was consistent. He was consistent too. Oh, yeah, shiny ball head. Actually, now his career best in points in the 2003-2004 season, 19.8 points per game was his career best of a very long career, and it's almost his career best in assists too. So yeah, Sam Cassell absolutely balled out that season with that team. So respect it. All right, respect. All right.
Thank you. Oh, come on. It's Anthony Edwards.
All right, that's easy. All right, fair enough. Do we even need to describe why?
I mean, I was just gonna say, do you want me to go on my like soapbox demands? We don't have enough time for that. But yeah, Anthony Edwards.
If you had one sentence you could tell someone who did Anthony Edwards, what would you tell them about Anthony Edwards in like 30-second elevator pitch? I love him. I love him.
I'm borrowing the like stupid, cheesy, shitty thing that everyone keeps saying, like your favorite player's favorite player is like Anthony Edwards. I feel like, right? I feel like that's just.
Mm-hmm. Do you think he's Michael Jordan's son?
Maybe, possibly.
Have you seen the side by side? Have you seen the side by side?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Joey, you know what I'm talking about? Side of Jordan and Edwards' face?
No, I haven't been fed that in my algorithm yet.
Go ahead and go look at. Go ahead and go look at that one. It's the same face. It's the same face. Just saying. All right, small forward. Who you got?
I know. Okay, this because of the two, it's shifted, but I'm putting Kevin Garnett in the small forward, and you'll understand from my other picks, but interchangeably. But I'm putting KG in.
Okay.
Another needs no explanation. I mean, if people don't know Kevin Garnett, I mean, just like shit talking, gritty, amazing defender, like insane good scorer, like anything is possible. Like basically, I'm surprised there isn't a statue in Minnesota for Kevin Garnett. And then, like most Minnesota franchises, was like, "Fuck this place! I'm going to go win a championship and a different team," and then did it. So.
Yep, pretty much. Small forward. Wait, is he a 7-footer? How big is Kevin Garnett? That's gonna be the biggest small forward in the history of the planet. Gotta be a 6'11" guy. I mean, I'm really curious to hear if we got KG at small forward. Who we got a power forward?
All right. Well, interchangeably, I'm going with Kevin Love. So put him where you want to put him. But K Love is my next guy. again, like shooting, insane rebounder, passer, all the things that like the Wolves are kind of lacking right now, but just all around good dude. Same story, tried to stay in there and fight for the Wolves and then said, get me out of here, and goes on and wins a championship. But just like was so solid for the Wolves in that big man role who could shoot. Like before Cat got all the recognition for being so great, I think Caleb was holding it down.
That's true. I mean, I think he's kind of like, people forget he was Wolf to start, to be honest. And he was a huge, big time prospect coming out of, I think it was UCLA, right? I'm not mistaken. I think it was UCLA. I mean, he's got the NBA record for rebound a single game in the shot clock area. 31 boards in 2010 is just absolutely absurd. He had the insane season of 26 and 13. Really bad Wolves team. He was the one guy who kind of stood out. Literally the lifeblood of everything that team done, any win that they had. So yeah, you get him and the big ticket in the same lineup. That's we're already talking about line right here. So now who's the center? This is a big lineup.
Are you ready? Come on, the center is Cat. Karl Anthony Towns rounding out the bigs.
Okay.
And you know, it's funny. I mean, I grew up in Minnesota. I'm a Wolves fan, but I live in New York City. So the whole like Cat trade for Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo, it did, but it's been funny seeing Knicks fans adjust to Cat and the, you know, his unique style, the whole like zesty, soft shit, but then watching them not giving him enough credit. I'm like, but y'all wouldn't be as good as you are without Cat either. So like, shut up. But Cat is also like one of the dudes that embraced staying in Minnesota and just was like, I'm going to be here through the good and the bad. I mean, still one of the best shooting big men there is. And I can't not include Cat.
That's fair. Damn, this is a hell of a line. But yeah, he's a zesty boy. It is. That was kind of funny coming out. I was just talking about Cat the other day. Like, if the Knicks just run that shit through him, like, let Cat. I mean, we saw what happened. You just put Cat on Wemby. It was a big game for the Knicks, and they shut down Wemby when Cat was the primary defender. It was a shame that it came to with Minnesota. Who would you put the biggest blame on? Was in Minnesota that it never really worked out. And it got to the point of like, we're trading him. Was it more of like the Cat factor? Was it coaching? Was it everything around? Like, what was your take on that era?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the stupid, like, politically right statements to say, like, management and not, like, just, like, being a poor franchise that can't get players to stick. I don't know. I mean, Cat, I think, is a better two guy than the leader of a team. And I think, like, having that pressure on him, he just couldn't rise
Crumbled.
to it. And then once Ant came, it was just, okay, great. Ant's the go-to. I'll be the main two guy. And then, you know, they had that the Denver series, Game 7, 2 seasons ago, where the Wolves come back and win. Cat, like, we don't do that without Cat, but then we face the Mavs in the Western Conference Finals and get spanked because Cat disappears. And I think that that's also part of, like, other than money, trade talks of like, all right, you've had all this opportunity. Now we're finally in the Western Conference Finals and you don't show up. And so I think that had to do with it too.
It's just so frustrating. I can't stand wasted talent. It's like, even with Kevin Love, right? Like, you remember those years. There was not a single playoff year with Kevin Love. Like, that's
really
crazy to think about. 08 to 14, 0.
Oh,
those were dark days. Dark days. Like, there were a couple seasons and there were like, I don't even know. Maybe the Wolves had like 15 wins. Like, it was just bad.
I've been there.
Yeah.
Yep. Again, back to the Bucks. I remember the days with like 20 people in the arena. They're watching the game in the early 2000s. You would see games on the TV. The front rows would just be emptied. No one is in there watching the games. But your sixth man, who's coming off the bench? Who's the sixth man of the year off the bench for this team?
Oh, it's Naz Reid, hands down.
Ooh.
I don't think there's been anybody in the franchise. I mean, and he's already won a sixth man of the year award. I think he can get it this year again too. But if people don't know Naz Reid, I mean, first of all, he's like fan favorite. Like, people are just like, he's so beloved. But he can play like 3, 4, 5. He he can play the post, but he can like move like a guard, and his like shot release is almost like Steph Curry like. Is like the quickest like shot release, just like definite sixth man.
And undrafted dude, which is another crazy thing to see his ascent, and that Minnesota took him out of nowhere, and now he's become this like fan favorite guy, which is pretty awesome. Sixth man of the year for an undrafted player, just is super rare. Has he won it? If he wins this, he'd become one of the if he wins it this year, he'd be very few to win it multiple times, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, with my NBA history. I would
imagine, yeah.
With my NBA history, not many have won it multiple times. But all right, why not Wally Szczerbiak, though?
He was my runner-up.
Oh, okay. Seventh man. Wally Szczerbiak, seventh man. You need the shooter.
You do need the shooter, but it's funny. It was a toss-up, but I was like, I picked Sam Cassell out of nostalgia. I was like, all right, we're going to go more realistic of my Nasri fandom.
Okay.
And that's what I love about these. Because...
Go ahead, Joe.
No, I said that's what I love about these is like, where do you pull these from? Is it nostalgia? Is it current? And it varies by every fan base, either if your team is relevant right now or not. And so that's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, Carly, you make a lot of Timberwolves content online, I believe. So, or at least on Twitter or TikTok.
I do.
So why don't you tell everyone where they can find you? If any Timberwolves fans are listening, they want to go listen to someone who's a diehard like yourself, where can they find you and see what you're doing?
Yeah. So what is my TikTok handle? Oh, it's cb.wolves is my TikTok. And then I also am part of a group that covers the Wolves on a little bit more of like a serious angle, and that's the Daily Wolves, and that's on like all platforms, podcasts, everything.
Okay, are they winning the ship this year, or can they get past the Thunder? Do you think? Get over the hill, that Western Conference hill?
I think that they can, but I don't know if they will.
If there's one thing that they match up well against her, what do you think it would be?
It is playing Io and Bones and Dante and pushing pace and taking care of the ball. And Julius Randle has to play the best series of his life, and then we're good.
It just takes Julius Randle out of his skull. Perfect. It's perfect. It's going to happen. Carly, great talking to you. Thanks for educating us on some Wolf stuff.
Hell
of a lineup there, too, by the way. That's the championship bill lineup right there. So, love it.
Yeah, come on.
Love it. And best of luck to them. Hope Ant's all right, gets back. And, I would have no problem seeing the Wolves get their little, Western Conference Finals hump here and, make a championship. You T-Wolves fans, you definitely deserve it. You've been waiting way too long for this type of thing. Way too long. So, y'all fans.
Way too long.
Fans deserve it. So I'm pulling for you. But great talking to you.
Austin.
For sure. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you, guys.
Yep. We'll see you.
Bye.
All righty. That is another episode of Chalk Talk Social. I think I'll be back next week. Who the hell knows? But
we hope so. Can I tell you?
Until then.
Can I tell you in my show notes, my last thing for the Timberwolves? My last note in our show notes is I'm picking those black Timberwolves jerseys. Like I wanted to get a jersey ranking from her, and off the bat, that's her pick. I go, all right, she can stay.
No,
she's legit.
Answer the question without even trying. Those are the coolest jerseys, dude. Those jerseys were cool. Even the blue ones, sick. Mm-hmm.
So if they wear them now, maybe it'll be good luck.
Absolutely, that was a great look. But yeah, I'm very excited for some March Madness. My bracket's already kind of screwed. I don't care anymore or whatever. Actually, it's not. It's just everyone I lost so far has just been like those one win or those teams I only picked to win once. So I have a chance, but I'm already kind of losing money. But enjoy March Madness, everybody. It's going to be a hell of watching basketball. And until next week, we'll talk more March Madness for sure. Also, allegedly, not sure if anyone heard this, allegedly there's a trade and AJ Brown to the Patriots. So Patriots, if that's true, AJ Brown, Romeo Dobbs, Keyshawn Moody, Kyle Williams, they're really loading up for Drake May. So if that trade is a true thing, hell move. We'll see more. We might have more on that next week. But until then, we'll see.